President Obama is promising to change the way the military does business. Speaking at the annual Veterans of Foreign Wars Convention in Phoenix, the president praised men and women who serve our country, but said they deserve a more streamlined, modern approach to keeping America safe.
That's why our defense review is taking a top-to-bottom look at our priorities and posture, questioning conventional wisdom, rethinking old dogmas, and challenging the status quo. We're asking hard questions about the forces we need and the weapons we buy. And when we're finished, we'll have a new blueprint for the 21st century military that we need.
President Obama also said funding for veterans' health care will increase and said the ongoing debate about health insurance reform will have no impact on veterans' benefits. The Air Force has successfully launched the last in a series of 8 modernized Global Positioning System satellites. A rocket carrying the equipment was launched Monday morning from Cape Canaveral Air Force Station in Florida. The satellite will join the constellation of 30 operation satellites on orbit. They provide global coverage and increased performance of GPS service. In addition to providing better navigating service, GPS provides safer aviation and a more efficient use of maritime resources. The Air Force is the developer, operator, and steward for GPS. Afghan and international security forces are investigating a deadly bombing in Kabul. It happened Saturday near NATO headquarters. At least 7 Afghan civilians were killed and dozens were hurt. Authorities say the blast also injured several ISAF service members, but no NATO personnel were killed in the explosion. Officials say the blast proves insurgents continue to use indiscriminate violence in an effort to disrupt the election process.
Anybody who's willing to kill innocent Afghans is not here thinking about the good of the Afghan people.
The Afghan government and ISAF say they remain vigilant and determined to bring peace to the Afghan people. U.S. Marines continue to battle Taliban fighters in an effort to secure the strategic town of Dahaneh in the southern Afghanistan province of Helmand. After 2 days of fighting, Marines helped Afghan officers raise the Afghan flag over the town on Friday morning after tribal elders assured the Americans there were no Taliban left. Soon after the flag-raising ceremony, the Marine base in the town came under small arms, machine gun, and rocket-propelled grenade fire. There have been no reports of any U.S. or Afghanistan casualties. Those Marines were aiming to cut Taliban supply lines in the town and enable the government to open a polling station there ahead of Thursday's presidential elections. Meanwhile, ballots, tables, and paperwork arrived in Afghanistan Sunday ahead of the elections. The election materials were loaded onto trucks for shipping across the country. That material will reportedly be accompanied by security as it makes its way to polling stations across the country. The International Security Assistance Force reports it will suspend offensive operations during the election, following a call from the government of Afghanistan for a day of peace. For up-to-date information on the latest developments from Afghanistan and the upcoming elections, be sure to check the Department of Defense's new website address, defense.gov. NATO has approved the idea of an intermediate military headquarters in Afghanistan. Pentagon officials say the headquarters is a corps-level organization that will oversee tactical operations there. U.S. officials say they want Army Lieutenant General David Rodriguez, Deputy Commander of U.S. Forces-Afghanistan, in that post. The new headquarters would allow Army General Stanley McChrystal to concentrate on big-picture parts of the conflict. Most of the troops would come from the Army's 5th Corps, based in Germany. It's peak hurricane season, and while NOAA forecasters are busy tracking 3 named storm systems, public affairs officials at Guantanamo Bay say they're preparing too. Service members are making sure all homes on the island are hurricane resistant and stocked with water and MREs. Meanwhile, Tropical Depression Claudette made landfall Sunday on Florida's Panhandle, bringing strong winds, rain, and waves to the area. Forecasters expect Claudette to continue to weaken and not cause much damage. Forecasters' eyes are also fixed on Hurricane Bill as it moves west-northwest. Here's a look at its current path toward land. Forecasters say Bill's maximum sustained winds are near 75 miles per hour. The National Hurricane Center expects Bill to become a major hurricane by Wednesday. Also on the radar, Tropical Storm Anna. It's moving quickly through the northeastern Caribbean. A tropical storm watch remains in effect for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands, but Anna could dissipate soon. NOAA forecasters are expecting a near to below normal Atlantic hurricane season due to the calming effects of El Nino. There's a 70% chance of 7 to 11 named storms, of which 3 to 6 could become hurricanes. Coming up next on Around the Services, securing the scene. Paratroopers have a dangerous job in Iraq. See how they're helping fellow service members get around safely. It's a very real-world scenario playing out. But first, warm welcome. A joyous weekend for hundreds of Guard members and their families as crowds gather in Colorado to greet members of one National Guard unit returning home from battle. We're there for all the celebrations. Stick around. Sergeant Ted McDonald is back with more.